My name is Stacy Onuora. I am a software engineer with many years of experience across different industries. And, I like to chit chat about tech, stuff going on in the tech world, any new technological advancements in the world. I enjoy having conversations about that.
And I am Idris Lawal. I am a software engineer with more than 7 years experience. And I also follow a lot of tech news, tech happenings, and I like to talk about them while on this podcast. Welcome to ByteBurn.
Welcome to ByteBurn. I really like that name. Like it's so catchy, ByteBurn. And when it comes to computer technology, computer, what's the word? Jargons. Bytes is like eight and things like that, and then with the burn. So the concept just comes together. So bytes burn. I don't know if you all like it as much as I do, but I love the name Bytes Burn. The Bytes Word Podcast.
Yeah, pretty catchy. I think people would really, jive with it. So looking forward to dropping the gems.
And I think that it's not just for like if you're not very into tech, but you just kind of know like that moment where you're like your friends are just about tech stuff and you're like, oh really? Like this is definitely the place to be. Because then it's like we're just in with you. We're not going to be talking about overly complicated things or, you know, because again we're software engineers, so we'll try not to get too techy, right? But yeah, it's definitely for everyone. If you just want to know what's going on in the tech space or you're not familiar with a lot of things that is going on, like technological advancements, definitely tune in to the podcast.
And we're so happy to be doing this because for us it's an opportunity to really dive deep into some of these tech happenings, and you would agree that a lot is happening in tech right now and has been happening for a while. And
Tech is the new oil.
I mean, technology is eating up the world, and there is constant advancements, and it's like for a lot of people who aren't, in the space, it's like happening at the speed of light. Today you woke up and boom, so there's some new
There's something
technological
new.
advancements, and something is threatening to take your jobs. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like when did that happen? When did that happen? Was it not just
yeah.
then the first come out like maybe last week or last month and another something new is already here.
Yeah, and it's like that in tech. While there is constant research in the background, you likely, if you are not in the industry, of course, to you it looks like boom, it just happened overnight, and there's a new thing to talk about, just like how ChatGPT came out and everybody, what it was, you know, um, should I say starstruck or awestruck, how is this thing responding to me in such a natural tone and all of that. And, you know, and this is something that has been in research for many years. AI is not new. But yeah, without these follow-ups in the tech landscape,
Hmm.
these things just seem to happen, overnight. And that's why we're here, to help you get updated and informed as to what's going on with and the goings-ons in the tech industry.
Yeah, it's even demystify a lot of things. And like you said, like it just seems like it came out of nowhere. But if you dig back, you'd see that a lot of things, like some of the core concepts have been, being researched on, like in the past decades and things like that. But now you're finally seeing what it looks like. Like people can have that visual and put let's say a face to the name, right? Behind all the work that has all the research that has been going on. So yeah, basically, like even while we're talking about this stuff, we're also learning on our own end because like demystifying all these things that are happening and coming to share and talk about it, have conversations, share perspectives and hot takes around these new things. Yeah.
And I think right now, given how AI has impacted the world at large, it's a bit difficult for you not to be, in contact with some form of AI right now.
AI is in everything at this point. Is in every sector. I don't know that there's any sector that AI is not in.
Exactly. Unless, I mean, unless you live under a rock, you are interfacing with some form of AI on your phone, your computer, any technological device you have is, is getting AI or has AI, and I don't think we'll be able to escape not using it in the near future.
Mm. Very true. Very true. I think even companies that maybe primarily they did not use AI and stuff like that, since it's now a buzzword, it's like, oh, does your product use AI? If not, it seems like you're like in the old age. Yeah, if your product AI, I feel like there's this pressure for people to include AI in everything they're building, even when they've not sat down properly to analyze, okay, where can AI actually come into this product I'm trying to build? But they just want to infuse it in because, it's what's buzzing. And if you're most likely not using, or you are not going to be using, just say you're using AI, right? If you're not, like, if there's no form of AI in what you are doing or in the product you're building, people wouldn't really pay attention to it. Because I mean, with the capabilities of AI in music recording, like I recently heard stuff around, AI being able to sing, like they are AI generated musicians. Like they're not even real people. They're the ones that maybe, there's human input in like the lyrics and things like that. But in the singing, it's pure AI. I'm like, wow. So if people are wild, then you bring something that looks ordinary, quote unquote, then people wouldn't like have a tendency to draw towards that product, except there is that wow factor in this case, which is AI.
Yeah, and I think, but right now there's also the this distinction from AI that wows you and AI that actually does something for you, that actually is making productive, is making you um, you know, better at what you do, So there's a lot of wow kind of AIs, like, oh, generated a picture of me on the moon, sang a beautiful song, or generated a funky video and all of that. Versus, so people are doing a lot of that. But for these AI companies, I think what is more important for them is to start generating revenue. And to generate revenue consistently, then you need people to actually use it for things that matter, for things that actually impact their lives, or for organizations to use it for things that, can bring value for them as well. And I think that's, an important crossroad for most of these AI companies right now.
Yeah. I think that's very important as well because again, they're pumping a lot of money into the AI infrastructure and everything, the research. Because now companies are having R&D teams, that's research and development teams, just to focus on, okay, how can we integrate AI into what we are doing? So if they're putting a lot of money into it, I'm sure that they are thinking, oh, how can we get much money back, break even, and then start making profit from this thing that we're pouring a lot of money into.
Yeah,
So yeah.
true. And I think it's also sort of like putting pressure on some of the frontier uh, AI systems, like the OpenAI and the Anthropics. Those are the largest in the world, and they have a lot of users. But right now they are still far away from making a profit off of anything that they have. They have a lot of users, but a lot of free, non-paying users. And
Oh.
yeah, you look up the markets, you see there's a lot of AI startups and companies, integrating AI into their products. But the fact that There is also open source models, and there's a lot of trained talent in the AI space, in recent years, because a lot of people are also learning as to how to take these open source models, fine tune them for their, for their use, and it's not having to rely on the big companies to use their APIs. I mean, the frontier models are still the best because there's a lot of infrastructure behind them. There's a lot of training data behind them as well. So you will likely get better responses and better usage from these frontier models. But companies have to start thinking about costs of these models and how much tokens they burn just for you to do some simple tasks. So yeah, for these frontier models, they are trying to make make more revenue. But they are not. They have to sort of engineer a way for them to make this revenue, because they are not anywhere near the amount that they're spending on infrastructure, like you said. So it will be interesting to see what they come up with. OpenAI has started going the route of putting ads in ChatGPT. We'll see how well that goes, but I think they will do it because they are already sharing, news that's good.
I'm not looking forward to that at all. I am not.
Yeah, but
I know.
if you think about it though, Google search, which is something we'll be using for many years now, has ads, right? And it hasn't really bothered much, because while there are ads like at the top side of the of the search window, so the results are still relevant to you. So I think ChatGPT may also come in that form where you see the ads, yeah, but I mean the result is still relevant to your use case.
If they make it subtle, like don't put it in our faces being ads. Left to me, right, I'd say they've taken a thing from the VLC guy that has managed to keep VLC ad free, right? But if they need to do it, probably because of profitability and stuff like that, they should not put it in our faces, right? Or they could go the route of, they are hoping that if it's in your faces, you would now pay money to actually use the products, right? Because I know how long it took me to transition for like a normal YouTube. The ads were killing me on YouTube music and YouTube video. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pay to stop seeing these ads, right? So it's a win-win for them. If you don't pay, you see the ads and they make their money. If you pay, you don't see the ads and they're still making their money.
I think they are going to put the ads anyway. Um, Depends. So whether it's subtle or not now depends on how they design the UX, I guess. But on a mobile phone, I don't see how to be subtle that you will not really see the ads. It's very small window, so you have to see ads.
Imagine if you're typing something, you just see a pop-up.
Yeah, that
Is
I mean, that would be terrible. That would be terrible. Just pop up where you're typing stuff. Yeah, that would be crazy. I don't think they'll go that far. It would probably be after your results come, based on the video I've seen on the OpenAI websites. They have a video of where you search, the results come up at the top, and then at the bottom of the results, you see ads related to what you searched for. So that may be the strategy they use. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But it may force people. So ads sort of tends to maybe irk people somehow, because it's like something unsolicited. So
Yeah, I didn't ask for this. If I need recommendations, I'll ask.
yeah, so I think it may sort of force people to start looking at alternatives. I mean, these days Gemini is just as good, and you have the Anthropic ones as well. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think they cannot escape putting the ads, because they need the revenue. I feel like they need the revenue.
But thinking about it, the ads generate that much of a revenue.
Oh, I think it too. I think it too. I mean, Facebook, Google, it generated a lot from ads. Like,
A whole product first. Google Ads. Yeah. There. Yeah.
so they benefited from ads because advertisers would pay to get as much visibility as they want on stuff, and if they can start getting visibility on something as widely used as ChatGPT, then of course the
Exactly. Yeah, with customer base, I mean, that means you're reaching a lot of people. So yeah.
and it's also the advantage. I guess the selling point for OpenAI for their ads would be that, oh well, this is also going to be shown to people who are searching for something similar. So, but it will be interesting to see how they do it though, because I mean,
Yeah.
imagine, people, there's a lot of people who actually chat with ChatGPT just to get mental health advice. And, some people who are going through a rough patch, thinking about, doing all kinds of nasty things, and the kind of ads they start to see based on those search results. So it may be tricky in those aspects where you start to show people the wrong things, where some cases people are thinking of uh doing bad things to themselves, like hurting themselves and all that, and starts to show them knives or something there. It may be a very tricky scenario for them as well.
Yeah. I think they'll need to like very much consider that because even with regular, I know that they had to like really up their game in terms of like sales searches and things like that. So if they're bringing ads to, they need to also take that safety to concern, that safety into consideration rather. Yeah, because I think they had been, I don't know if you heard that news about a particular boy that was talking to ChatGPT. People think ChatGPT is their friend these days. You're like, okay. And he was talking to him about what he wanted to do. And then he had actually searched something. And then ChatGPT had given him the search. If you even notice, there are certain things you search for, even medically related. And then ChatGPT will now block you at that point and be like, oh, I can't, do this. It's valid like it. And then, they refer you through, oh, go to the hospital and things like that. So yeah, they'll definitely need to consider that when they're doing the ads like thing if they're going that route.
Yeah, very sure. Yeah, it will be interesting to see where how they manage all of that going forward. But I think it's also sort of a reality that is dawning on most companies that, well, the initial play of, oh, you don't need to hire any workers now, AI can do all the work, and all of that I, narrative is dying down because you're saying, okay, that's not true. And this is probably them trying to compensate for that, you know, that shortfall, and see how it goes. But would be an interesting shift from what the company had originally promised. Okay, I think that's just about it for today. The very first episode. This is the very first episode of ByteBurn. We hope you got to learn something interesting, and looking forward to our next episodes. Make sure to like and subscribe our channel. We'll be releasing new episodes every week, and we hope to bring you more interesting discussions as we go along.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe to ByteBurn, guys.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Guys.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.